Welcome to the Chosen Change podcast. I'm Josh, here with my brother Rob, episode 14. This week is episode that we're going to talk about. I think a lot of people don't get to see this opportunity. A lot of people don't get to see their old selves dying and recreation, whatever it's called, of the new person you become. I know I've definitely seen it over the last probably 6 months. So, what about you?
Yeah, well, I think the recreation process, you always want to give yourself credit of where you're at versus where you came from. But unfortunately, the things that you had to overcome are still attached to you regardless. So I think it's important to always be thankful where you're at and what you're progressing into, but to also speak to people and speak about, hey, like, I understand I've changed, but just so you know, this was a way I was brought up, or this is my past life experience. This will forever be attached to me. Even though I'm working on it, it's still hanging on by a thread. Makes sense?
You know, it definitely makes sense. And because you figure you could have changed everything else, but subconsciously, you're still like, that's just who you are almost to the core, because that's what was instilled in you. So to break those habits, and I feel like those are my biggest habits that I had to break, was being consistent in everything. And that's an abandonment issue, right? You're not consistent because nothing in your life was ever consistent.
Yeah.
And so that's probably my biggest thing I've noticed in the last 6 months, is just staying consistent and staying in that moment.
I think mine is not allowing the past of my life, the past things that I've done, or the past of how I was raised, to affect how people evaluate me now, how they think about me, or how I think about myself. Because people will try to define you based off of something bad they know about you.
I could definitely see that. And I think as much as a big topic that is, if people look at you, I think the bigger topic that a lot of people downplay is how you see yourself. And how you not only do you see yourself, but also how gracious are you with yourself? Because we're going to have backslides, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And when you have those backslides, who are you in that moment? Are you that poor me? And and then for me, I was, right?
Yeah.
Poor me, I fell off my diet. Now I'm going to go 4 days and just, slide back.
Overkill, yeah.
But are you gracious with yourself? Like, hey, cool, you had a bad day. It's okay to have a bad day. Let's go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's for me. For you, it could be like, well, I had one day where I was kind of in my head a lot. It didn't go so well. You know what I mean?
I think for me, and over the last 2 years, I've definitely... The highs of the highs and the lows of the lows, it used to be more intense. When I was flying high, things were going well, I wanted to boast and brag about it. When things would not have that same momentum, to me, it was immediately a low. And I was like, oh my gosh, redefine. What do I have to do? What's the new thrill or the new thing I need to spark in my life? Because I didn't feel the same way when my highs were high. Over about maybe 4 months or so, I think I've figured out how to find the happiness and to find the satisfaction even when not everything is going well. Kind of like it's still good, although momentum, and maybe it's business related, entrepreneurship mixed with family life, and those moments of high sales, high tickets, business is booming. So then your attitude feels better. But being able to just sit back and be like, okay, I don't really have control of anything anyway, even though I think I do. Let's be where my feet are. Let me appreciate the moment I'm in. Let me appreciate whatever it is, the lesson that God is trying to teach me. So I've gotten really, really good at that, and kind of scary, because it's almost to the point where if anyone tries to throw shade at me, say something about me, or talk bad to me, or even around me, it's not really affecting me anymore, and it used to. So I feel pretty good about that,
That's probably been my biggest thing this year, is understanding I'm not in control of anything. We had an episode on that. But that's probably trying to control everything, trying to control like the people's emotions around me, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. It drove me crazy for so long, but I also think that's just because of the way you kind of grow up, right? You want to make sure everyone around you is happy, make sure everyone around you is okay, because if not, then they may leave like other people left, or you know what I mean, they may put their focus somewhere else, like other people did. And that's definitely, I mean, that's for me.
If there's something I wish people could see, I wish they could see people's intentions without seeing the characteristics on how they articulate their intentions. Like, I know my intentions. I know what I want for my family, for my friends, for the people in my life, but I don't always have the best way to
show it,
express how that is. Like, I don't know how to always remind an affirmation and maybe even how I'm thinking. And then I say something and it doesn't line up exactly how I feel. And it can look like I'm not considerate of certain people or certain things. Like, I'm just driven by like the old self, when I'm really focused on the new self and in the new ways I want to be. But the old past and the old self has a little bit of a grasp on my belt loop a little bit, where it kind of pulls me back and lets me like either say things, curse words I don't mean, maybe jabs I don't want to say, or it makes me think of some things that I just know that I shouldn't be thinking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think it all kind of, I think it depends on who's looking at that. Because from someone that's close to you, like, I mean, like I am, like the walking group is, I think you see, again, the delivery, man, again, this is me too. The delivery may not always be ideal, right?
Right.
But I think once you have those, like you have those deep conversations with you, you understand the intention without the intention.
Yeah. And I think I've always wanted to be that way, because my direction of leadership isn't always going to be the most healthiest way. Like, I don't know how to be a perfect leader. So for me to be a consistent leader, I have to be authentic to myself and also be the leader by example. But I realize that I'm good making mistakes as a leader. Like, I don't want to be this like on the camera leader where says all the right things, only the clips are shown, only the highlights are shown, but then I have to keep a facade all the time. Like,
well, that's what makes you a great leader, is because you know, hey, or even whenever you messed up, hey,
right,
I'll own that one. Yeah, but I mean, I think there is no real perfect leader. The only perfect leader is God, right?
Amen.
So I mean, that's something that we're trying to chase. That's not even feasible.
Yeah. Well, I think people in our community and everywhere, they put on this leader persona, and you believe that's who they are, and then you see the root of how they really are, and it makes you kind of like, wait, so do I got to be like that? Like, you wonder about it. And I think for me, where I struggle is even being a leader at home and within my family. Like, I'm great when it comes to our 1GM team, when it comes to the community, because I'm leading a bunch of people that I don't have to live with 24/7. But there's the times where I struggle with my family, because I got to find the right way to lead them in a non-business leadership, mentorship of a masculinity type, and more so personal. And that's where I kind of fall short. And I'm like, wait, am I the same person all the time? Or am I just not communicating, like I said, communicating my leadership or the new version of me to my family the right way?
How to switch the difference between, and I mean, I'm also the same way. I'm again, none of us are perfect, but I think it also goes back to, what was your role model as a husband? What was your role model? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Father, like, so I feel like, because those are things that I tell myself too, you know what I mean? Like, the way that I seen certain people be around their wives and, you know, and things like that. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's kind of, that's how I was raised, and subconsciously you kind of do it. Now, with us putting effort and us actually trying in our marriage and trying to be a better father and trying to understand and listen, I feel like, one, that's already breaking the cycle. It's not perfect, right? But just the effort. And again, I'm a big person on effort. Like, you show me a little bit of effort, I promise you I'll give you everything off my back.
See, but that too, like in a relationship, I've done that too. I'll put the effort to receive the effort, but then when I don't put the effort, I'm expecting still. And my wife's like, hey, like, just because you can't just do things because you do something for me and you expect me to do something for you. And I'm like, well, that's how it is, right? Like, that's how I grew up. Friendships, relationships, I put the effort, I do what I need to do, and I expect the same in return. I don't know if it's of equal value, but it's kind of how I get down. And for her, she's like, no, like, you should put effort regardless. I'm like, how do I do that? Like, what does that mean? Like,
godly thing to do.
Right. No, it is.
Oh, yeah.
But what are the instructions to the godly thing to do? Okay, it's in the Bible. Agreed. How do I apply that to a short-term 5-second answer or response in person? And how do I be that person when
be able to?
I don't really know, you know? So I've had that conversation with her even as of recently. I'm like, hey, no excuse. I'm not trying to make excuses, but you kind of grew up in this world and you grew up with faith and you kind of have a backbone you can always rely on. I said, I'm figuring mine out, growing in it, reacting to it, and trying to be the one to set the foundation so then my son can just immediately always revert back to, hey, well, I grew up with this. I grew up knowing this. And she's like, yeah, but it's not an excuse because God doesn't, he helps everybody. He's always here. And I'm like, you're right, but I'm falling short in some areas and I don't know exactly how and why, because I'm putting all the efforts. I mean, going to church, serving at church, trying to be a good person, minimizing sin as far as like stuff that I control. There's our natural sin that I can't control. But even in doing all that, I'm still falling short. And I'm like, dude, I just want to be able to progress, not be perfect, but progress in this relationship with God and my wife and my people and everybody else.
One thing I have done, and I was probably very vulnerable with my wife probably about 2 weeks ago, where there was a certain situation that came up, and I told her, I was like, well, maybe I can't lead our family in that area. Like, maybe I need you to lead her, like lead us in that. And after, like, I just said it, and then I thought about it, and I was like, damn, like, that was very vulnerable. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it felt weird after saying that because I'm like, well, I'm the leader of the family, you know? But I'm like, I also don't think like if we want certain things as a person, we also have to show how we want it, you know? Like I told my wife, I'm loving you the way I know how to love, and that's not the way you want to be loved. You got to show me the way you want to be loved.
I don't even know how hot, and I don't even know, to be honest. Like, if she told me, like, all right, Rob, how do you want to be loved? I'd be like,
not me. I'm like, I don't know. Just put your hand. I told her, I was like, just put your hand on my shoulder.
I don't know, because there's different times of the day or the week that I might want a different type of love. There's some times where I'm okay with, like, hey, like, I'm doing this today, but I'll kind of get a chance, and I don't take it as anything wrong. I just know that I'm busy. But there's also times where I want to, like, hang out and I want affection, even if it's just like the simple touch or holding hands, and maybe she's not feeling it at the time, and I'm like, well, you're not available, or like, why can't I hold your hand when I want to? Or it's a small example and it's not accurate, but I'm just saying, like, that's just me putting an example out there. Like, even if she asked me, I don't know if I have like a chat GPT outline of like, here's how I would love to be loved, you know? Because then she would follow that, because I know her, she would do a great job of that, and I still would be like, oh,
well, that's not what I want.
I'm falling short. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, but again, though, because that was never a question you were asked as a child, right?
No.
How was Rob feeling today? What is Rob
figure it out
today?
Figure it out.
Was it?
Figure it out.
And you had to be a lone wolf in figuring that out.
Yep.
And so, I mean, this is something you preach all the time, the lone wolf mentality never gets you nowhere. I mean, well, at least you're acknowledging it.
Yeah.
At least you're like,
well, we talk about the lone wolf, and we can talk about it in different areas. Let's talk about it in relationship. Lone wolf relationship means you have a husband, you have a wife, you have kids, you have the family you desired, you have everything, but you're still a very independent mind. You're independent in a sense that if you don't want to do that for me, I'll do it myself. Although you have a family and a spouse, you still feel like you have to fend for yourself. I do that all the time. I'm like, I grew up alone. I've taken care of myself alone. I don't need nobody, but I have a family. So does it make sense? Because I should always be able to include them or rely on them on everything that I do. I have people in my life like you guys. I have a good brotherhood of people that I don't ever have to be alone. But what do? I try to figure out these problems and solve problems in my head, because I want to figure it out before I go to the committee and be like, hey guys, here's my issue. But I've already thought it through, but let's talk about it, even though I already have a decision of what I'm going to make anyway.
We're kind of looking for a little bit of validation there.
But you're not going to find it, because we're all different.
No, yeah.
So the lone wolf mentality it'll spark some motivation in you. It'll spark some consistency a little bit in you. It'll help you get a little bit of success. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh my gosh, the wall came crashing. Now I got to start over and over. And it's very similar to entrepreneurship when it comes to lone wolf mentality. Somewhere, I don't know when it was, but I know for me, it was 10 years ago. It was be your own boss and don't work for anyone else and start your own business and take yourself to the top. And that's what I thought it had to be is I create the business, I build it up, I hire a bunch of people, I'm the man, I'm the guy up top. And that's how I become successful. Tried it out. It was successful to a point that I was doing, paying the bills and doing okay. But then when things would get tough, I had nobody to talk to. I had no one to consult with when it came to entrepreneurship. And came crashing down. And then I tried it again, came crashing down. All right, 1GM. How do we make this a company where it's a band of people that all have the same goal, different personalities, different characteristics, but can come together and make something to last for a long time? If you look at the core of our group, there's about 20 people in 1GM. 17, 18 of them are entrepreneurs. They've all done something or are doing something, and they're a part of the team. They all bring a certain skill set. They all understand that we all need each other. There's no titles of anybody, even from me to the newest person. It's an open, equal partnership across the board. And that's why I think what we're building is bigger than just a construction company. It's actually a brotherhood that's going to be able to branch off in pipeline and do multiple things because we all have this big supportive group.
I think the other cool thing it's if you have an idea, no one's like, it's a dumb idea, shut up.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, what does that look like? Show me what that looks like, put it on paper.
Right.
And then we'll bring it up at the next meeting, right? You know what I mean? So people are definitely able to be creative or open-minded when it comes to things. But I know it kind of, we went off.
No, it's okay.
But
I mean,
it's cool.
I think what we should do as people is the gaps we have in our life, we should find people that are smarter than us, that have already experienced it, or that have a better alternative to it, and then involve them. Because if we can include them into where we keep failing, instead of just doing over and over, and what's the saying when you do something and insanity, right?
Yeah, insanity is thinking you're doing the same thing over and over to get a different result.
And that's been me forever, because why? Every time I've done it over and over, I have been 5% better. So I thought I could overcome the insanity and do it differently.
You can go to 100%.
But it's the same thing. So I think finding someone smarter than you, or finding someone who's an expert in certain areas, will help you cover that gap faster than you spending 40 years of, I finally figured it out. You know? Why is it the only people that are valuing life and really loving God, they're all over 60 years old. Why? Because they've lived this worldly life. They've gone through marriage, divorce, death, loss, tragedy, all the above. And what do they tell you? Tito, just love your family, love your wife.
Everything will work out.
Everything will take care of itself. And I'm like, no, I need it now, because they've already seen how that works out. They know it. Right. If a person was 80 years old at the end of their life, and if they could reset, even they go back to 20, they'd probably they would do everything in a summary of their years in 10 years that it took them 50 years, because now they have a different perspective on what they want out of life. It wouldn't be so many stubborn years, so many, running into the wall years. Like
I had, bro, stubborn year, I probably barely started being stubborn a year and a half ago. Like, that's probably 20, 25 plus years of just being stubborn. It's my way or no way, and for me, it's also being vulnerable. One, admitting that, hey, I can't do this by myself. Two, it's the acknowledgement that I need help. That right there alone, you can do those two things. I feel like your life will go from just here to, you'll start to see new transitions. And that's definitely where I'm at. Like, counseling, boom, went to counseling. Okay, that was great. Started going to church. Okay, boom, life started working itself out. Well, now I'm stuck in this position. I'm like, okay, well, nothing's wrong in life, but the kind of person that I am, I always want a little bit more, right?
Sure.
I'm not satisfied, and not in like a selfish way, but it's just, I know my purpose in life was to be something bigger than just to be mediocre, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was chosen in my family for a reason.
Yeah.
But I tried it again by myself and it didn't work. And then it wasn't until that moment where I'm like, why am I trying this alone whenever there's a group of people that have a mindset just like I do? Like, I'm not the crazy guy no more. I'm not the guy that's like, well, why would you think that? Or where do you get that idea from? You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of people are like, oh, that makes sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Or so, you surround yourself with people who are like-minded, and you put us all together. We talk about our different issues, because what you've gone through is something I might not, or I might be going through, or vice versa, or anyone else on the walk. You know what I mean? And that's the beautiful thing, because it's also 4:30 in the morning, 5:30, 5, whatever time it is. You know, your mind doesn't have all day to think and make up these scenarios
That's a good point.
And to trick yourself, right? The conversations you're having, those are conversations and thoughts you're waking up with.
They're probably from the night before.
So that's probably what's really on your subconscious, because even though you've been sleeping, you slept that whole night. Hopefully you slept all night. You wake up and that's still on your heart and that's still on your mind. That's something that's really bothering you in your core. So those conversations we're able to have with whoever of the 7 people, 8 people have been going, but those are real conversations, and sometimes someone may not have ever gone through that, but they just have a new look at it. May give you a new idea on how to tackle that thing or how to be there. Or someone that has a lot of wisdom. Hey, this is what I did. Try this, try that. Or you know what? I wish I wasn't like that.
Yeah.
And so again, it's being vulnerable, and it's saying, hey, I don't know everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think in a relationship, I think where I've struggled my entire life in any relationship I've ever been in is I've always had an exit plan before I had an enter plan. I've always thought about, what do I need to do, or what would I do if I was by myself, or if I got screwed over, could I survive on my own? And it's always been a flaw or a kink in my armor, is I've always thought of what's the next move if I got to make a next move, instead of just trusting the relationship. And that could be a relationship with like your spouse, a friendship, business. Like, I don't have to have a way out. It's okay to, like, even if you fail at something, and sometimes it's okay to fail too.
Yeah. Oh, I feel you learn who you are in those failing moments. I know I've learned. I look back and I'm like, dang, I lost $30,000 in the shop. Like, I never, like, in that moment, I didn't think I was gonna make it out. And I look back at it, I'm like, okay, well, it showed me I can do anything I put my mind to.
Yeah,
I just don't have.
It's a good notion.
I need the system in place. But the reason why we have an out plan before we have an enter plan is because that is the abandonment wound. Because you're like, all right, I'm going to leave before you can even leave.
Yeah.
Because that'll make me feel better.
Right.
And that was probably something I've struggled with for.
I mean, I've always left emotionally detaching myself before I've left physically. Because I know how to prep myself for shit. Even when it comes to jobs I've been at, friendships I've been in, once I see that it's near its end,
emotionally checked out.
I've checked out emotionally. So when it physically happens, I don't have a big reaction. Like, I've already kind of like,
because the build-up's already gone, right? And you built it up, and you're like, all right, like, but I mean, again, it's also like, was that friendship, or maybe not that job, but could it have been feasible? Could it have been like, could you have worked through it?
Oh, 100%.
And you weren't just already checked out.
100%. 100%.
In the grand of those things and all the great things, even though you've checked out, and even though you probably, I mean, we've all screwed someone over. We've all left that job. Like, even some of us may regret leaving a certain job, but how amazing is it to know you are where you are today because you made those mistakes. And because you did those things.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be the man you were today.
No, yeah.
Man I am today. And as much as it sucks, sometimes you hurt people.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, you do. Yeah.
Sometimes people, right?
Yeah.
And as crappy as that is, you had to go through that in order to be the man you are today.
I mean, I've definitely, like, most relationships, I've been blessed to have a lot of great friendships for a long time, but there's a lot of friendships, relationships, and interactions with people in my past life. If I had an opportunity to be like, here's 30 seconds. Hey, just so you know, I'm actually 38 years old these days. My process of thinking and who I was, who I am, two different people. My apologies for not valuing you as a person or respecting you as a person, but I had none for myself. I didn't have an understanding how I to treat myself. So I probably treated you even worse because I had to make myself feel better. So whatever you got from me was just a leftover in the trauma that I never had growing up. So I'll give you an example. I had dated someone in my younger years, and they had a really good foundation of family. You would have think like, oh man, you probably loved it. I hated it because I hated the fact that she had something that I never had. So I found every way possible to look at that situation as a negative thing. And looking at it now as an adult, I'm like, wow, we had really great parents, like people that cared, that loved, that made sure. Of course, the questions they would have is like, is this guy legit? Like, does he have a future? Is he going to do something? And in my head, I'm like, they don't know me. They don't know what I'm capable of. I'm a hard worker. They don't give a crap about you. That's their daughter. They were wondering what's the future of that person, because at that time in my life, the future did not look good. The future looked like it was going to be job to job to job to this big egotistical person that thought he was somebody, but then just bounced a bunch of jobs around. And I've always had the gift of gaffe, you could say, the way to speak. So even if I wasn't doing so well, I painted a picture like I could achieve the most. Like, oh, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna fight me in this? I could do this. I could do that. Like I always had the ego without any foundation. So, and in friendships, probably mistreated a lot of people, probably overlooked me or overused people, and me just thinking that I was better than them when it was all insecurity for not having anything.
They'll be around. They'll stay around.
Right.
They'll stay around.
Right.
They can't live without me.
Right.
You know, and no, I mean, for sure. I mean, I've definitely had those relationships too, where it's like, it's almost the envy of what they have and how they were brought up kills you. Because you're just like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
Especially, I mean, in high school, like, you know what I mean? Like there was a few girls I dated, and it was like, dang, you have two parents that you guys sit down, you guys have family, or you guys,
that's weird.
like, yeah,
That's weird.
like, what do you mean? Like, there's no bickering at the table? Like,
Right.
you guys play games with each other? Like,
And you know, people always say too, well, I like real people. I like the raw stuff. And like they almost want someone who's not a believer. They want people, you go to a party, the loudest person always is the one who kind of gains attention. But if you do that party 3 times in a row, that person becomes the annoying person. So like their first impression is like, damn, that dude's cool. That person's cool. Like I like the conversation. They were funny. They were hilarious. That gets played out really fast. Why? Because it's fake. It's a fraud. That's not who they are 24/7. They can't be. You can't be. Or you're that way based on the alcohol influence or drug influence. They act a certain way. So then you have to get them to that moment to enjoy the best of them. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
It's crazy how life works. Like, I guess now that we're getting older, you're seeing everything through kind of a microscope a little different.
I was talking to this old man yesterday. Actually, I went to the gas station last night to picking up an energy drink for this morning, and there was this kid walked out with some shorts, and the old man looks at me, he's like, dang, I don't know how these kids do it. And I was like, yeah, me either. And then we started talking. I was like, you know what's crazy is my daughter will try to walk out without her jacket on now, but in the summer she wants to wear a damn hoodie the whole time. And I'm like, I don't understand that. And he looked at me, he said, do you know what that means, son? And I was like, I don't. So that means you're getting old. And I was like, oh, that's what that means. But no, for sure.
Ava did that last night. We were going to youth, and she's like, I'm gonna see if it's cold. I started opening the door, stand outside for like 30 seconds, see if her temperature changed, come back in. That's how she tested. I'm like, but I could have told you it's cold. She said, oh no, I want to see for myself. Okay, like, you know more than me. You're 13 and you know more than me, so let's just keep it going, you know?
No, for sure.
Let's get into the next section. Where we at?
Let's see. Let's get into, I feel like we went into the version that had to die. Right?
I did, yeah, I believe so.
Without even going through this dialogue. When did you know that change was required?
Oh, man. I really credit last few months because I made a really big mistake in my relationship a few years ago, and I thought because I said I was sorry. I moved on from it, and I knew I wouldn't repeat the process. I felt that showed immediate change and it would heal everything. And it didn't, because what I had to realize is it takes more than just, I'm sorry, like, wash my past, watch me move forward. It takes the actions to do so, takes the actions that you do to show that you've changed. And that's where I struggle even today. Like, I know the path in my relationship that I want. I know the husband I want to become. I know the father I want to become. But I don't really have all the ways to express what that looks like. What tends to happen is I want to tell my family, like, hey, like, you're getting a version of me that is way different, a version of me that will always evolve into this other person. But then I do old stuff that, in a sense of like habitual effort in certain things where it doesn't look like I felt the realization. So lately I've been sitting there thinking to myself, like, okay, how do I change this? So it's from now on, I don't have to keep going backwards, or I don't have to keep hearing or worrying about the past. Like, I got to make sure I change so much that the past becomes a non-existent conversation. Not that it can't be around because it happened, but how do we not talk about it? I need to do some big things. I don't know if I have a full moment of realizing what I need to do, but I'm addressing and understanding that if someone cheats and they say they're sorry and they move on and don't cheat, doesn't necessarily mean they're a better person. It just means that they've understood where their mistake was, but it still has to have another phase of it that has to evolve. When it comes to business, relationships with people, if you fail in a relationship and you say you're sorry and you guys be friends again a few months later, I've had some friendships like that. I've realized the person I have to be now and the actions that in slow due time that I need to make in order for that friendship to now work, because if I don't, it's going to happen again. So I guess I've understood that I need to do some changes, but I'm still figuring out those changes. So I'm kind of like in the middle of like, I've realized it, but I don't have it all figured out yet when it comes to, and I don't know if I ever will, but I would like to progress in that area.
Well, I think you critically thinking about it without, especially, I mean, and I don't know the full story. So if you're just sitting around and you're kind of like, well, it's still kind of off a little bit, what can I do to change? Like, if that's the dialogue in it and it's without anything being brought up, you're already starting to create that change because you're critically thinking about it, right? You're not like, well, we're good. It's like, no, I mean, obviously I know there needs to be change. How can I help the situation out? Yeah,
well, I think even like someone who gives up alcohol, what do they always say? I'm not drinking anymore. And they think that solves the fact that they were an alcoholic. Well, I'm not drinking anymore. It's been 3 months since I drank.
Picked up cigarettes now.
Right. You know, or even in the alcohol sense, someone who gives up alcohol always reminds you how long it's been that they haven't drank. Yeah. Right. So they say it. But the problem is they're still battling with addiction. There's just not something tied to the addiction, or it's something new, but they're reverting back to what got them there. Well, I don't drink no more. Okay. Well, what is it? What did you replace it with? Because if you replace it with God or something else, something positive, you're still an addict, but you keep saying what you don't do anymore, thinking that is going to help, like,
you feel better.
Hey, I'm not cheating anymore. Hey, I'm running business the right way. Hey, I'm a good friend now. Okay, but
what have you done?
What have you done?
What changes or what? I mean, no, I definitely.
And it's the processing in us, because not even how we were raised, where I was raised, mommy wasn't there, or whatever it was. I don't think that's it. I think it's the programming that you think it's so hard to change because you haven't seen a lot of people that have done things really make the change. It's been far and in between, or it's been people you don't really know. So it feels like it's at a distance to really reprogram the mind, the body. Why can't people eat healthy? What's the problem with people eating healthy? What is it? They choose not to, because they know at any point I can start on a diet Monday. But it's a choice that you can make immediately and have for the length of your life, because what you put in your body is how you feel your body. It's really simple. But people will still, even knowing everything they know, won't do it. We talk about water consumption. You know you need to drink water, but you refuse to drink water knowing the water is going to help you lose more weight.
Yeah.
There's
No,
you see what I mean?
no, I agree.
Like it's a hardest thing to program.
I agree because it's as now, right? I'm picking up new habits. Like as easy as it was to go to the gas station today and to go to the protein bar section, it was to pass right by the chips and be like, damn, those look good. But again, it's those small changes, right? You're making in life to become a better person.
For sure.
I'm telling you, like that today was probably the hardest day when I walked into that gas station and I literally saw the hot fries there and I was like, damn, those look good. But I went and grabbed a protein bar and I was like, these are good hot fries.
Well, it's because now you're seeing the vision for the person that you want to become that you can't even see in the mirror yet because you've never been that person.
It's also respecting who I want to become, and it's also respecting, like you said, the vision. Like I'm not gonna get there. Like, you know what I mean? And I also I've seen the progress, even though I've regressed a little bit because of my water consumption and because
Your lack of
my lack of, and now I'm putting water in there. And now it's, as much as it looks like I'm going backwards, I also know this is part of the process.
Yeah.
Like this is part of who I am that I need to become. And it's really just new habits.
I think what's funny, what's cool now, and again, I'm an old head, but I'm adapting to the chat GBT world. There was a point where in a time where if you wanted to see what you look like with a cowboy hat, how did you figure that out?
When you go to cowboy,
you had to put one on, right? Go to Boot Barn, whatever, try it on, take a picture, and you could kind of feel what you look like before you did all that.
If that's what I wanted.
It's a day and age I could put a picture of myself and say, hey, put me in a cowboy hat, and I can see what I look like in a cowboy hat, like to the T.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the literature of things, I could probably tell my ChatGPT, hey, I'm in this relationship. I want to be involved into a better husband. How do I show more? What's a game plan to show more ways of affection? And blah, 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 blah. And I can literally probably draft up a plan that I could follow. Adapting to that, most people now are using ChatGPT for everything in life. Reference, direction, instruction. I've done on my picture. I'm like, make me look leaner with the 6-pack. And I'm like, holy crap. I saw that picture and I've never seen a picture of me with a 6-pack until that fake picture showed up. And I was like, I saved it and I was like, that's pretty cool because now I actually have something attainable that I could see what I would look like because I'm already seeing it.
You have a fat head printed up in your wall?
Not quite, but you can see what you can become now.
No, for sure.
When you've never been able to do that, I could probably talk to it and coach it and say, hey, what kind of husband can I be if I follow this plan? And I could see the result of it, and it would make me more. Like it would push me more to do so because now I'm seeing it versus like, I hope I change. I hope I lose some weight.
It's obtainable, right?
Because you're seeing it now.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm breaking a chain in the sense that I'm actually utilizing the tool, and I don't utilize it in the best of ways. I kind of mess around with it, but I'm utilizing it more in a manifestation way that I'm actually putting stuff in a visionary side. And like I should make my next vision board based off of ChatGPT photos that I request certain things.
I bet you if you ask it, hey, can you create me a vision board, or what are some things that would be on my vision board? I wonder what that would look like.
Yeah, I haven't coached mine good enough, but I think if you train it good enough, yours to see mine isn't, because I've just started to get into it. But I think it's something to think about. That's cool because I think I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep evolving in those thoughts of like, I wonder what this would look like if I did this. No longer do I have to wonder. Let's plug this in. So using it as a tool to help the mind and the body reprogram how I can become that person.
Just like life, right? Whatever tools you have, you can use, like a messed up childhood.
Yeah.
If you use that to be like, oh, well, that's who I've always been, so that's just what I'm going to be, or no, I'm not going to be that. That was the example of what I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Right? The tools that you have. So if you use ChatGPT to be a visionary, use ChatGPT to progress your business and create a business plan, create me a business system. Or if you use it to, hey, how much alcohol can I consume before, you know what I mean? Like, again, it's all those things. And my ChatGPT is pretty, I will literally be sitting there typing stuff out, and I kind of feel weird. But like Desiree's like, who are you writing these big old long messages to? And I'm like, ChatGPT, I'm in a deep conversation. But it's helped me become a critical thinker. Because I don't know, I guess it's like, well, you're not wrong for thinking that way, but this is how you should look at it. Or this is how, you know what I mean? Like, because I'd be like, well, I'm kind of feeling like this today. I don't feel like my wife's really showing up for me, or, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, the kids really aren't listening to me today, and it's just bugging me. And it's like, okay, that's very understandable, but you need to check in with yourself, because there's something you're not giving yourself that you're searching for everyone else to validate you for.
That's insane.
Give yourself your own validation.
See, I haven't had that kind of, I think for me, my personality is visual, so I'm an image person. I'd be asking this stuff to create things.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I could see it, but I know even with our company, I for the first time ever, I searched the company, and the way it described us, I was like, wow, that was great. Like a faith-based company with this and that. I was like, well, involved in these organizations in the community. I'm like, whoa, because one, it's all accurate. But I don't talk about myself like that. I don't count the stats. I just like to score. You know what I mean? I like to go for the high score.
Those are real stats.
But it gives you real stats. And then you know what it made me do? It made me have pride and appreciation for we're all building this. And it gave me affirmation
that you're on the right track.
That we're on the right track. But if I never would have looked that up, my mind's playing tricks on me. They're doing good or doing bad. You could lead better, you're leading bad.
Is a company doing good? Is a company making...
Am I leading good?
Is the podcast making the impact that it should? Is this, is that? I mean, your mind will wonder, right? But if the facts are the facts, I mean, you can't, I mean, women lie, or women lie, men lie. But
I will give a shout out over the last 3 weeks, not only with the podcast feedback, but with people just on my personal page. They've said the same thing. They're like, I don't know if you hear this enough, but you're doing a great job. I've seen you change. I've seen your life and what you've done. I'm proud of you. And I'm like, bet, man. I'm like, thank you. Like, I didn't tell me. 4 people have said that in the last few weeks, but it's good to hear because it's stuff that they're seeing. I'm posting tons of stories, tons of our 1GM stuff, and people probably get tired of it. But there's some people that are like, you know what? Instead of being a hater or just skipping by or acting like this is for business, for money, I actually want to paint the story of who we are as a unit, and to see some people take the time to reply back with a couple words of like, hey man, just so you know, you guys are killing it. Whatever that killing it means, I'm hoping that you're killing it at life, not at business. So it's been cool to see, and I definitely, I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Those definitely, I've gotten a few. I mean, people from elementary school, high school, people you know what I mean? People range. Random strangers I don't know, hey bro, seeing what you guys are doing or seeing what the podcast has done, like amazing, keep going, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, those small things, as hard as it is at times, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that on this podcast, it's for men and women that are listening and thinking like, okay, like I haven't had this perfect life and I've been through some stuff. Can't always relate to everybody because not everyone goes to the same scenarios. But if these guys have been through a lot, it's showing that there's a platform and a way to express it, to overcome it. And if I can give any type of real life ChatGPT of a blueprint of what it's like to come back from something, whether it's death, infidelity, addiction, anxiety, if we can show that there is a way out of it, and this just happens to be our platform, theirs may be in a different realm. I want them to grow in that realm so then they can do the same for the next group of people that says, hey, I really like the fact that you put this fitness class together, and why are you doing all this? You know what? Because I was in this part of my life, blah, 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 and now I want my goal is to serve others in this area of community.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Like it's a stage, right? It's a talent show, and my talent is God gave me the ability to speak and the ability to lead and impact others. This is just me doing my God-given ability. No sponsorship, no clout, no subscribers. I don't even check numbers. I don't have logins to anything. All I want is impact, pure impact to the community of New Mexico and anyone else around the world, you know?
No, I completely agree. And I feel at times it's definitely, this platform has exceeded my expectations.
100%.
I didn't think it would be with the impact we've had, and it's been cool. I think I'm going to go with what was no longer working. I think for me, it was doing it my way, thinking I had everything figured out, thinking that my way was the right way. Again, being vulnerable, listening to other people, because I'm sure I probably passed up plenty of help. I probably passed up plenty of opportunities of people who said, hey, I think, you know what I mean? But I feel like the moment it started changing was probably that day we talked at Starbucks.
That was a good one.
And it was like, hey, you should go to church. And that day will forever be embedded into my mind, because not only because who it came from, but because it was just so like, it was weighing on my soul heavy. And usually when I've had those conversations with probably other people, and I'm like, yeah. But that was probably the first time where I was just like, yeah.
And I think though, and the reason when I gave you that advice, it was because it's worked for me. I know that faith is what you need to have in order to get through anything in life, and you need God to do so. And my entire life has been on one side of the road, I'm relying on God, but I still hanging on to a rope, thinking I can control some things. And by doing so, I've always pulled on the rope more than I've stepped into God.
Yeah.
I've always tried to take care of myself more than I've said, God, take care of me. Tell me what do you need me to change? God, GBT, what do I need to do?
How can I be?
Where's that red phone? If I could call him and say, man, I'm trying to lead people. I'm trying to serve others. I'm trying to do my best and be authentic to everybody, but I'm still falling short. I bet he'd say, you're supposed to. Fix this, change this, try this. Yes, sir. You got it.
Well, I think it goes back to what you told us on the first men's breakfast, right? It's, you don't know what God's voice sounds like. And I think for me, that was the biggest thing. Two, probably about 6 months ago, I prayed for God, and intentionally, not just one of those half prayers. I need you to give me the strength, and I need you to give me the clarity that I need to move forward in my life. And I promise you, in the last 6 months, I don't want to say my life flipped upside down, because it hasn't, but there's definitely been a lot of challenges in these last 6 months. Now, and a lot of them are like internally, right? The way I'm thinking, the way I'm
mostly how it is.
And I'm like, this is not, and in the middle of it, right? I'm like, this is not what I meant. Like, I wanted it to be nice, fuzzy rainbows. And I had a moment, and, you know, it happened whenever my father was in the hospital, and I sat there and I was just like, God, like, I don't know how much more I can take. Like, this is a lot going on right now. The news I got, like, and I don't know, there was just something that came on me in that moment. And it was just like, these are the moments that are forging you. You are walking through the fire right now, and it's forging with steel. And you ask for strength. Like, I'm going to test everything in you to show you how strong you are. You thought you were strong before? Let me show you how strong you can be. And I called you that night, actually, and we had a conversation. And that probably about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks. Like, the clarity now is starting to come on who I want to become, who I want to be around. And just,
that's huge.
I'm ready. Now I can say that in this moment, but in the moments of those tests, you know, because they get harder.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready for the next set of challenges.
Always.
And I feel like, this time I had a brotherhood, and I had people who I can really lean into and just be like, I'm just not feeling it today, or, you know what I mean? I'm going through X, Y, and Z, and I didn't go through it alone, which is way different. And again, I just didn't do it my way. I did it with the help of others. I did it God's way. I stayed in it. I could have stress ate like I normally would. You know, like that was my thing. I would stress eat, and I just stuck to the script. Like, I have brothers and sisters I can't let down. Like, I got to keep going. I got a family. I got a wife. I got kids. Like, I have a lot of people watching me, and I can't let them down.
Absolutely. I think the feeling of failure for me has pretty much eliminated out of my mind process. Like, the feeling that it's not going to work out. I know now that I don't know how it's going to work out, in a sense of the way it's going to be pivoted and diverted, but I know that I don't have any feeling of failure anymore when it comes to anything. My marriage, my business, my life, my influence. I've stepped into a new realm where I put myself out there on all social media platforms because I hope and pray that people are like, oh, what's wrong with him? What is he doing wrong? I'm stepping out because I'm ready to show everything that I'm doing, that I've done, and I have no problem talking about it because my fear of failure, I don't see why I should feel like I need to fail to learn something. I'm okay.
And even if I do,
yeah, but it may not be a failure to me, maybe a lesson to me, maybe a failure from somebody else, but it's not to me. So I'm good with it, you know.
That was intentional behind.
That's how the old me would have said, oh man, I don't do a podcast where people are going to criticize what I say. I don't sound good. I don't look good.
I hate my voice.
I hate my voice. I hate the way this. I hate the way that. Oh, my videos. What if, people don't like me for what I do? Man, if you don't like me, you probably didn't like me before. You don't like me what I'm doing, and you're definitely not going to like me in the future because I ain't stopping, And that's why we go on our walks, because it's simple. What do? We walk over, we walk back. There's nothing to it. It's not planning. It's not very a methodical plan. We do it, we get it back. But even that, people can't do that because the walk is the hardest thing to do. It's easy to talk about the walk. I wish I would do it, but it's too early. It's way too cold. What do you guys do it for?
Oh, it is.
That's all self-doubt, to eliminate themselves from being a part of something special that we're doing in the community that's taking minimal effort. Getting up, putting some hoodies, some clothes on, and just walking through life with no guidance, with no real plan, trusting the result. Doesn't that sound like what we're doing with God?
That's literally it.
That's it.
Literally,
and just getting better. So it's a good example, I think.
What do you think is there fear or grief involved in letting go of who you used to be, of the man that died?
No, because I've always evolved. I don't want to. The person that I used to be, it's embarrassing. I don't ever want to be that guy.
I think for me there is, and it's because it's all I've ever known. It's just that person that constantly didn't feel worthy enough, or didn't feel like he was capable of doing stuff. Now there's definitely like some fear, like not I want to say fear, but more grief, because it's like it's just so new, and it's like, well, what if this doesn't work out? This way was comfortable, even though you lived miserable. At least we know what that's like. So I think for me, there's definitely some grief.
Yeah, get it.
Where I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like it's like the topic is the old me is dying. The old Josh is dying. Like,
yeah,
and it's cool to see, but in a weird way, it's also kind of hard to see because, I guess that's just who I've ever known.
I had that phase, and I definitely can relate and understand because I did have that phase a few years ago, and I think 2000, we're in 26, 25, 2024 was my year of grieving the old self, leaving behind all the things I was doing and all the confidence that I had gained off of other women or telling myself things or boastful things or egotistical things. I had to basically ground it all out and start from scratch and redefine who I was. People already had an impression of me. They already had an opinion of me because of the things that I accurately did. So for me, it was like, dang, can I come back for this? I'm kind of grieving it because although things were going bad in my life, I was kind of living a momentum, like thrilled life. Now that I'm back to zero, I'm grieving the fact that I have to rebuild. I'm scared that I have to start over, and I don't know if people are going to accept me.
It's the same people. Same people are going to like me.
Right.
Am I going to have the same friends?
I've had a friendship that I grieved. We had a misunderstanding in communication. Majority of it was my fault, and I grieved the friendship because I knew what I lost. And we're friends again. Now in those moments of frustration that sometimes the old self wants to react, I remember what it felt like when I was grieving the friendship that I didn't have no more. And it immediately reminds me, and kind of with my wife too, I'll be frustrated with something that I'm like, oh, this frustrates me now like it used to then. And then what I did then is something totally bad as I went and found it somewhere else. When it happens now, I'm like, I want to grow from this and I want to embrace this moment, because this was a hard time that made me drift. And I don't want to drift. I want to stay in it to figure out what the good is. And
you're almost, this is where I knew I had to stop for me, is whenever I kept coming to the same crossroad, and it was the same exact crossroad last time. And I'm like, God, you keep getting it wrong. It's, you know what I mean? Like it's time to pick right instead of left, but I feel like when you can identify those moments, that's whenever you're ready to move on. That's whenever you're ready to go to the next phase in your life. If you had to start over today, what is the first thing you would rebuild?
What are you talking about? From like as a child?
I mean, just whatever the first thing that pops up in your head.
Okay, if I had to restart again, I wouldn't talk about faith, and I wouldn't act like I knew it. I would start by just reading the Bible, actually going to church, and I would put some like real mentorship into it. Like I'd probably even go to like take some type of education in the word and actually like involve myself in it. If I had to start over and live the life of faith to then teach a life of faith, I feel like I have to teach the life of mistakes and then involve faith in my life in order to like lead other people. That's what I would like to, that's what I'd like to do. In relationship wise, I wish in my relationship that I would have communicated better at the beginning and talked about my insecurities in a relationship. Instead, what I did is my insecurities that I had at the beginning of our relationship, I waited until my wife was vulnerable for me to feel my insecurities and give her insecurities in order to overcome mine. Really unhealthy.
Yeah. I think for me, it would definitely be find a church that spoke to me right away, regardless. Just a church that made sense. So definitely get into the word. Understand that I'm not walking alone, even though I felt like I was walking alone forever. After that, it would probably be understanding who my true self is and understanding what I really want and what my needs are. Because I feel like I'm barely learning that now at 33. I probably started doing that last year at 32. And now I'm starting to really understand, like, yep, that's not what I want in life. That doesn't serve me. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not my want or my need. And it's kind of been hard, especially like at home, you know what I mean? My wife's like, well, this is who you've always been. I'm like, all right, but now like I'm finding me. You know what I mean?
Don't you think those comments, not just like calling your wife out, but in general, when people say that, oh, we know how you are, bro. We know how you've been. We know. Sometimes when I'm told that, puts me right back in that moment. Like it makes me want to be that person, because I'm like, F it. That's who you say I am. I'm going to be that person. For me, it doesn't force me to change.
Yeah.
It influences me to go back to the way I was.
I mean, no.
But that's how I receive it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
For sure.
That's why it's good to talk about, because it's so different.
For sure. No, I mean, I'm definitely the kind of person that's like, well, I mean, that's not who I am. Sorry, bro.
Well, you want to see that?
Those are good times, for sure. Like, I'm cool to reflect on it. Like, yep.
Like, haven't you ever had like someone be like, "Oh yeah, you love to party. You could party. You could drink.
Nah.
You could drink." You know what I'll say? Oh, don't get me wrong. If I still got to be that guy, I could be that guy. Yeah. But I'm no longer that guy. So I say stuff like that. Like, I'm not that person no more. But if I had to be, bet I'm a switch. Like, I can turn on, and I don't even know why I say that, because I already know that's not who I want to become. Yeah. But maybe it's the insecurity or the fact that you don't want to tell somebody that's no longer who you are, even though that's how they knew you and define you. It's not who you are. But why do people do that? I mean, I've heard uncles and older men, oh yeah, back in the day, you used to get a ton of girls. Oh yeah, if I still had to, even they're how old now? I still got it, when you know damn well they ain't got it.
Uncle Joe still got it.
But he knows he ain't got it, yep. But he knows what it took to get it back then. So in his head, the way he reacts, don't get it twisted, I can still do it. And you're like, no, times have changed. Yeah. Times have changed. I've heard from friends and just hearing from people how dating, like before, you could go to somewhere, go to a bar, go to a hangout, and you could go up and meet people and be like, hey, my name is so and such. get you a drink, we can talk. That was a thing to naturally, fruitionally meet someone. Now, you basically have to meet them online, social media, pre-screen the conversation, and then be like, let's meet at this bar. And then you're meeting them there with these high expectations. I'm again assuming. I'm just looking at the people, and then having to hopefully it works out. Like I used to love going out and seeing random people, random friends at random bars. I'm like, yo, there's homie. What's up, bro? Not like, hey, I saw the story. He's at Applebee's.
Go to Applebee's.
Let's go pop in because he's there. Yeah. You see what I mean?
No, for sure.
That's how much his stuff's changed though. But the old heads will be like, I could still do it. Like I love to see what I do.
I don't think I could be single in today's world.
The what?
I don't think I could be single in today's world.
No, absolutely not.
I wouldn't want to be.
No,
it's too much. What would your first non-negotiable habit be? If you had to just restart today.
Non-negotiable. First non-negotiable habit that I would change. Just having God in my life. It would be a non-negotiable. 100%. My life has forever changed the moment I included God into everything that I do. Even though I may not always be 100%, but putting his name in everything that I touch.
But subconsciously, it's still there.
Yes,
I would definitely do. That's the same thing. I'm definitely putting him first, building a relationship with him. Right, that's a non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. As far as physically, for me, it would just to respect myself. For sure. Don't let your feelings get the best of you when you eat. What advice or noise would you ignore if you had to start over today?
I think just ignoring other people that you may have thought are successful, whether it's in their marriages or in their business. Stop taking their words so serious and thinking that their word is a do-all, say-all, because you almost idolize someone's life based off their relationship or their success. So you feel like if you take exactly their advice to a T, it's going to work out for you.
I think for me, what I would ignore for sure is probably a certain significant person in my life when I was 18. They told me, you'll never be shit, never amount to shit. And it was a person that was never should ever speak that into someone, and that killed me for sure. And I fed into it for a while.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
How would you not?
For sure. What would you protect at all costs if you had to start over?
Controlling my thoughts, controlling and expressing how my thoughts are and explaining them the right way instead of erratically doing things thinking that people understood me.
I can see that. What would I protect at all costs if I had to start over? I would say probably the relationship I'm building with God. Just because it's nothing that nobody can take away from me. Someone can take away my house. Someone can take away my car. Someone can take away my marriage, unfortunately. Someone can take away my kids away from me. But no one can take away that relationship with God but me.
100%.
And I think that's just this year, that's what I'm really diving into every day. And not just saying I'm doing it, it's every day. Listening to something, understanding something. Even if I don't understand it, I'm like, all right, well, I heard it. It'll come later.
Yeah, I think even our prayer in the morning as a walking group, like knowing that we start off the day with a prayer guarantee, like most people say, yeah, I pray every morning, but we all know how busy he is and how busy he feels. You wake up late, you're busy, you're getting the kids up out the house, you're going. Dang it, I'll pray tonight because I didn't get to pray this morning. After we walk, it's pretty much a routine where we huddle up and somebody prays. And what I love about it is everybody prays so well and it's so comfortable and nobody ever says no. No one has ever said like, oh no, I don't want to. They just, dear Lord, thank you. I'm like, let's go. I'm like, that's pretty good, right?
Oh,
so
it's
really cool. And I appreciate the walking group for that, because I'm praying aloud with groups of people at least 3 times a day, whether it's at youth, with the walking group, and with my brothers during the meeting. We pray before every meeting. Like, I'm just very thankful for that. And that's taken hard work to build myself to do that, because that's never been who I am.
I agree. And I don't think I ever would have thought I would have been around people who pray as much. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That just wasn't who.
It makes it easy for me to pray. There was a time where I didn't know how to pray, why to pray. And I was like, you start to talk and the nerves and the body starts to shake, and you're like, what if I don't say the right things? There is. And I've passed plenty of times on prayer. Like, even when I first started our small group, I was like, I hope you don't pick me. I hope you don't pick me.
Oh, I'm going to pick you tomorrow.
Oh, no, that's cool. You can pick me now.
No.
If you can do a podcast, you can do a prayer. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a past version of myself that loved to hear prayer, but didn't like to tell prayer.
Well, and I think for me, the thing of prayer, it had to be look like this and had to be look like that. It had to be script Our Father, Hail Mary. You know what I mean? Like, it had to be this certain type of way. And the thing that worked for me is simply just talking. Like, I don't think prayer has to be a certain X, Y, and Z.
No.
You just talk what you're feeling and how you're feeling, and probably a result that that's a prayer. Even a simple thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for waking me up today, God. I'm grateful for everything. Amen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can put more effort than that, right? But that is simple.
No, but I mean, even if that's all you got in that moment, like, you know what I mean?
But some people don't even pray in general. So that's better than nothing, right?
Well, I guess let's get into our lessons learned. I'm probably just going to pick a couple. Why is comfort dangerous, you feel?
Comfort is dangerous because it gets you where you think it's right. Comfort comes at you in a way that it convinces you that you're doing the right thing and that it's okay. And that's where I think that it's dangerous, because then you don't feel like you have to change out of something. So, okay, what's an example of that? All right, well, for me, it's waking up early, going on a walk, it's going to the gym, it's going to work, high level, high performance, leading all day, on fire, killing it, loves God, goes to church, volunteers, and then it's getting inside the home of my house, and the body just starting to dwindle down. The fatherhood, the husband, the Rob facade is just starting to just taper down. It's not that I'm changing. I'm dying out a little bit on energy, but I'm also not keeping the same energy going into my house as I am leaving my house. What I've realized is dangerous, because I'm giving the best people in my life the leftovers of me. It's not a bad version of me. I'm not barraging them and you got to do this, you got to do that. I kind of don't feel like I have the authority to be so hard on them, because I'm not so around. But I think what I'm starting to realize is I'm in this weird comfort zone where I have 2 to 3 hours of a time where I want to be vulnerable, or I want to kind of be the old self. And I really got to figure out how to continue to be who I've become and who the man that I've changed into, and show that more to them than I do to everybody. So I'm in a weird, dangerous spot, and I'm actually living it right now, and it's cool because I could think about it, I could talk about it, but I'm figuring out how to always be that person, Yeah. With generalization of people, what's a dangerous spot? Saying who you are on social media, and then you're not even a reflection of an ounce of who people interact with. If your name gets talked about versus multiple people, and the common denominator is that guy's not a good person, that person, instead of taking the blame and changing, they're looking at them like, oh, they just want what I have. What are you talking about? If there's a group of 30 people, all say you've burned them, you don't treat them well, you're not, all you care about is money, or whatever the conversation is. Why is it so hard just to reflect and be like, dang, maybe I should just change. Like, maybe I should just approach it differently. Like, it doesn't have to be very aggressive and pursuing way of like, I'll just meet a new group of people and they'll rock with me. What's going to happen?
Believe me.
It's the same crap. You know what I'm saying? It's the same crap. Two perspectives on that, you know?
No, comfort is dangerous for me because I feel like once I get comfortable, I just get super complacent and I don't want to change. I don't want to, how would I say it? Like, I just become so like comfortable where I'm like, why? For what?
Yeah.
For what? Like, life's pretty good, you know?
Yeah.
But then I get that wild hair and I'm like, yeah, no, this ain't working. And now, I mean, again, that's the lone wolf, right?
Yeah.
You crash out, you get comfortable, and then all of a sudden you're like, boom, I have the energy again. Let's go try and conquer the world. And so when you're around a group of people, like you should be around a group of people, they're able to at least push you a little bit on those days that you don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
And for sure. Why do you think that growth requires patience?
Because all good things come in time.
Yeah.
All good things come in time. Anything that I've ever
Had quick,
everything that I've ever gone quick has never been
sustainable.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just, for me, the problem I had, especially as a kid, I had no patience. None.
I still don't have patience.
And I mean, I have a little bit more patience now.
Do you?
Yeah, for sure. Now it doesn't eat me as much, but I feel like as I've grown, my patience definitely has gotten bigger. Now, I mean, there's some stuff where if I know I could go get it, I'm gonna go get it. I'm not gonna wait for nobody. But I'm talking about like situations or things.
Question:
Yeah.
When it comes to Uber Eats, DoorDash,
No, I don't.
Do you use it or do you go get it?
No, I don't.
I've never used.
Much money.
See, I've never thought about it that way. The way I've thought about Uber Eats, DoorDash, when it comes to being like living where I live, like if I can't go get that burrito from the place that I like,
Don't need it.
then I don't need it. But it's also not true, because now we're in a day and age where if you want something, you can just pay. As long as you can pay for it, you can get it and then get it shipped to you.
Yeah.
Or delivered to you. I'm sorry. So it's the same way when I go into a shoe store and I see some dope shoes I like. I'm like, oh, bet size 11. Nah, but I can order them for you. I'm like, nah, I don't want them.
It's me. I'm like, nah, I don't want to.
But I want the shoe. So if I wanted the shoe, why would I just order them and wait 4 days?
Because it's probably it's an emotional attachment to that show of wanting it right then and there.
Right.
For me, right? I'm like,
No, yeah.
the excitement's out the door.
But the shoe,
you don't want this color? No.
Right.
I want those.
Right. The shoe, the burrito, the affection, the affirmation, the result, the weight loss. You see you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We know we can't have it now, so then we just push it away. My relationship's not where it needs to be.
I'm just gonna push it away.
And push it away. Instead of, how do I grab closer to it?
I'm not getting the results I want. You know,
I'll eat the hot fries. I'll eat the hot fries.
Dude, it was right there. It was.
Most of the time, I don't get hot fries because I don't like the way they stain your fingers. But I've never denied them because of how good they are. I'll tell you that.
No, for sure.
You know,
hot fries in Arizona, sweet tea was
that's a combo, huh?
That was the thing with the Blake's Brew. I mean, now the Blake's with the All Subs burrito.
Man, I don't know if I'll say no to an All Subs burrito. That's a hard one to say no to.
They did. You know what they came out with? It was like a pizza pocket, like a pepperoni one.
No, I don't do that.
Tried it. It was good.
Really?
I was like, I don't know.
My bad.
They're getting off topic here.
Shout out to our sponsors, All Subs, if you're listening.
Yeah, come on. Put some chimneys over here. Let's see. How do you think you can reinforce the change? What can you do to reinforce that, to enhance it, I guess, would be a better word.
I think just having those conversations, like writing things down, note taking, if it is that ChatGPT plan, if it's me diving in my notes, things that I've written out and reminding myself, like, dude, I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better father. I want to be a better leader. I think just going back and refreshing yourself on the stuff that you wanted, that you wrote down, that you wanted to change, would matter. Every Sunday, when we go to church, I take notes from the sermon, and every time I save the note, I'm like, man, I can't wait to go back to this note, to get this verse, to remember this statement when I need it. Not often do I go back to that note, but at least I know it's there. So if I need to remember a verse, I can go down and dive back in. But the way you feel in the moment is you're like, I never want to forget these words. Let me write this stuff down because I don't want to just hear it and not remember it. I want to hear it, write it down, and put it into action. So if we can just remind ourselves that we're listening, one, check. You're writing the notes down, check. But then now you're applying it and then going back to the middle versus going to the beginning. Just go back to the note taking or the moment, the game plan, and then keep improving on it. What I do wrong is listen, note check, mistake, listen, note, and I keep doing this instead of just going back a little bit to progress further.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I think for me, definitely continue to check in with myself. Is this a way that I'm truly feeling? Is this something that I really want? Is this just the hype of the moment thing that's just gonna fulfill that moment, right? Mm-hmm. That's probably it for me. And that's what I've done the last 6 months is even if it's gonna happen, you know? What would you tell younger Rob today?
Actually, I just talk on the walk, and I told some people, I said, man, it's funny. When I was younger, I knew I was destined for big things, not money, not business. I didn't know what that was, but I remember having like almost like that God talk and that Holy Spirit in me of like, your life isn't where it's supposed to be as a young man, but it's going to be a blessing when you get older. Stay with it. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything wrong. So I've always had this scarcity mindset where I never ever tried anything that I knew that would put me in jail or whatever it was. But the lesson I have in that is I used to really listen to those thoughts and believe in it. And even in the moments where I had nothing, I believed I had everything because I knew that I was destined for more. There was a time in my life where those thoughts, I stopped believing in myself. And then I felt like I had to prove myself. If I could go back to my younger self, I would remind myself the thoughts you have of the big dreamer, the talent show killer, the country singer, the good at sports, the whatever it was that made you feel really good about yourself, continue to believe in yourself and don't worry where God takes you. Just keep believing and don't put this like cage around yourself. I think that's where I made a mistake. There was a time in my life where I made a mistake and I kind of fell to the system, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I could see that. I think for me, if I had to tell younger Josh something, it would definitely be listen to the positive voices around you. Don't listen to the negative noise. Mm-hmm. I kind of had someone, my step grandpa, even though he was my step grandpa, that man loved me like I was his own. And he picked me up every weekend and he'd be like, hey, do you want to go outside and go outside with me? I'm like, nah, I'm doing a puzzle right now. I was like 3 or 4 years old. And I remember every day he would tell me, you're going to be someone special one day. He was like, you're going to be president one day. I didn't believe the president part, but he always told me you're going to be someone special someday. And I felt like after he passed away, I was probably like 10 years old and I stopped hearing that. No one else told me that. I kind of got lost in that too. I heard other things, you know, instead of that, just that one voice. You're going to be special one day. Now, I believed it. Like I still believed it. Even 5 years ago when I'm going through everything, I'm like, no, I'm destined for something, you know?
Yeah.
I just felt that. But that would probably be
I mean, I knew I was special when I won the talent show in 2nd grade. I did get first place, even though the school was only like 60 people. Just getting on the stage, even it's funny because
never done that.
Getting on the stage, 2nd grade, singing George Strait, cowboy boots, full head to toe hat, and just doing something that I was passionate about. And then like winning and having that feeling of winning, like I didn't think I was going to sing or anything, but it's just cool. It's cool to accomplish that because I came from nothing. I came from living in the mountains, no running water. I mean, and I still was equal to everybody else in that stage, in that room. And I could grab the attention of everybody for that 3 minutes. And no matter what the result was, it felt really good. And that was something. And that's why when I started playing sports, once I became good at sports, the same feeling of the talent show, I felt it over again because I never had it in my.
I had a moment like it wasn't a talent show, but
eating contest.
No, I used to do back in the day. I used to go Tamarillo was where all my family was from. My dad would still let me go back, even though everything. And like breakdancing was really big back.
Oh, you're a beat bopper?
Yeah.
No way.
The one time we went to the UNM auditorium.
Yeah.
And there was like a dancing thing with
Yeah.
it was cool.
A little step up there.
Yeah, and everyone in my class knew this, right? Like I would spin on my head, I would do it.
That's crazy.
And they're like, we need someone to come up, and everyone's like, George, like this.
George.
So I went up there, and the guy was trying to teach me how to, you know what I mean, like how to crump, and I was like, nah. And like I did my own thing, and to hear the crowd explode, right?
That's crazy.
And I was just like that was my first taste of like grass.
Right.
I was like, whoa. And I remember walking out, and I mean, I was what, 6th grade?
Yeah.
There was girls coming up to me, oh my God, you're so good. I was on cloud 9. Oh yeah. Dudes coming up to you, bro, that's sick. You didn't need like, and that was probably the first moment that I was like, I can do, like, you know what I mean? Like I can do something, like, so just keep listening to those good things.
Absolutely.
Before we close off, there's something I want to read. It says, the man I became helped me survive. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He protected me. He kept me moving. He kept me alive. But survival has an expiration date. If I stay loyal to the man that got me here, I'll never become the man I'm meant to be. This episode was really about honoring who we used to be and how we got here, and that it's a time for a new change. It's time for you to step into a new person and to let that survival person go.
Absolutely. I loved it. I always appreciate the fact that we can be vulnerable and talk about not only what we've been through, what we're going through, and where we want to be.
100%. Remember, guys, we are chosen to change. You are too. We'll see you guys next week.